We are now here with a regular attender of Saturday evening for several years, Brynn.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. We're going to talk a bit about giving and generosity. So why don't we just start right at the beginning? How did you learn about giving, and how was that applied in your life?
Well, I wasn't born into a church-going family. I did go to church when I was 4 or 5 years old once, and I got to the front of the church and I got scared and I ran out and I didn't have to go back.
Yeah.
So I thought churches were for weddings and funerals. I didn't know what they were for. I found God in 1981. Some born-again Christians took me under their wing and tried to straighten me out as best they could. And I fell away probably 6 months later, and then I found God again in 1985, but I did not go to church. So,
Well, how did you learn about giving then?
well, I learned giving from TV to start with. You know, I have a hard time reading, so I like somebody to read the Bible for me.
Yeah.
And I caught on to the giving, the principles of giving, but like I said, I never gave aggressively. I did give some. Then when I came here, I started listening, of course, and learning a bit more, and I started vowing more. I never said I would tithe, but I was vowing X amount of dollars, and that's basically
That's
it.
where I went. So, do you think, looking back at your life, would you consider yourself a generous person? Like, not just in the terms of giving to a church, like just in general, would you consider yourself to be a generous?
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to think.
So where did that come from?
Probably watching the TV and the Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're giving is not always easy,
Right.
especially there's fluctuations in all of our jobs, whether it be ups or downs in the economy. You have a job, don't have a job. What has giving done for you throughout the storms of life, and like the ups and downs, the struggles?
And I think the last 7 years since I've came here, I've seen a dramatic blessings in my life, in our lives, not just financially, but you know, we've got grandchildren now.
Being a generous person, being involved in this church, you kind of have been able to go through several years now where you're starting to understand the community, coming to the general meetings. What have you seen? Have you been a little disappointed with what you're reading and what you're seeing about giving in our church?
Well, when the annual report, I read that. Actually, let's back this up a little bit.
Sure.
A few years ago, Pastor John asked for money at Christmas time, and I actually got a little upset with him, and I actually went to his house, and I said, I don't think that you need to ask for money, because I think the people that are going to give to you are going to give whether you ask or not.
Yeah.
And then I'm just that way. If I got something to say, I got to say it.
Yeah, that's good.
And when I read that annual report this year, I was a little bit disappointed. The first time I read it, I was kind of upset. I was kind of mad because a lot of people think the church is just out for the money. And so I actually read it again, and I was very disheartened with the actual numbers of the people that attend the church and the actual giving. The percentage rate, you know, it's not how much you give.
Yeah.
Like we don't all start at the top, so.
No, absolutely right. Yeah, and it's a family. We're all in this together.
Right.
We all live in this house, and there's bills in the house. There's maintenance in the house.
Yeah.
Some of us have kids upstairs. Some of us don't. But no matter what, we're sitting in a service.
Yeah.
We're getting fed with some great advice that can really improve our lives and lives of others. And there should be some responsibility that we all kind of feel to help this family succeed.
Yeah, and you know, it's a disappointment. You see, I come Saturday night. I don't come Sunday, but you see 200 or 300 people or however many people have come here. And then you see the statistics. It's not this place isn't a money grab.
No.
This is real stuff. So.
Well, it's interesting to see that perspective too from a guy that I know as a giver, right? So there's givers that are being discouraged and a little disheartened to see that they're pulling most of the weight. And like you said, it's not about how much you're giving, it's just the fact that you're trying to put some effort. My 10-year-old isn't helping pay the mortgage, but he's taking the garbage out.
Yeah.
So now, I guess, with your journey through life, coming to God, losing your mom, then coming back to God and kind of going through that journey, what would you say to somebody that's looking at the potential of a generous life, and how has that helped you? Where have you seen doors open for you, or how has that helped you personally, being a generous person?
Well, it's just like I strongly believe since I've come here and trying to live the way I'm supposed to. I strongly believe that there's been many blessings, and Sister Edith there, I got involved with her, and I know, like Pastor John even, that him and I have talked, and I know why it is, because there's power in prayer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't do it by myself. So.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, for those that don't know, Brynn has been super involved in our church, especially the Christmas banquets and stuff. You bring your team in, you cook for us. So there's been shadows of generosity for a long time, and we're glad to have you. We appreciate you, and thanks so much for taking some time to chat with us and the church about generosity, man. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.